I didn't know what to come out and tell you today because I was just sad to see little girls that had passed on through the night in Kerr County down the road from us. And it reminded me of everything that we went through in Uvalde for months and months on end, and government failure for months and months on end. And I said, well, surely I don't want to be today. I don't want to come out here and talk about Uvalde because it's so sad and it brings us down. And I don't want to sit here and talk about those little girls that have passed on in Kerr because it's sad and brings us down. But we do have to think about them. We do have to spend a moment to understand how these things happen.
That's right.
Because these things don't happen. This didn't happen through some act of God, you see. Yeah, sure, it was an act of God, but it was government failure in Uvalde, Texas. And it was government failure 24 hours ago because this sorry son of a bitch president, and I'm sorry because there's children out here listening, but I have no other words for this evil bastard. He cut 600 employees from the National Weather Service. 600 employees from the National Weather Service that would be able to tell us there's going to be a big flood here. Things are going to happen really bad here. Tell us in time. And so then I got on my TikTok and I started to see what time they put out their biggest warning at 5:24 a.m. Hell, that cabin was floating down the river at 4 in the morning. I didn't need the newsman to tell me. Some person put it on TikTok. And so here you have it. The failures right there of this administration, right in our backyard, and little girls died because of one man, and that's Donald Trump. And you might think that's not fair, but it's the goddamn truth. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. But we've got work to do. And our work starts today. Because just like I told those folks in Seguin yesterday for July 4th, I must admit a lot of Republicans, Commissioner, a lot of Republicans, and they were kind of mindful of what I said, and I talked a little bit about tyranny, but I talked about unity. And I said this country has never been about Democrats and Republicans. We used to be people that solved shit. We used to be people that came together and together solved the problems of this country, just like the commissioner solves the problems of this county. But now, for the last 40 years, it's become the kind of crap that you see on the news every day. And we've got Fox News spitting a bunch of bullshit. And you got a whole bunch of people that have been dumbed down so goddamn much that they just don't even bother to ask why.
Come on.
Because just like when you were 3 years old, you asked your parents why for every damn thing. You get, as a parent, I'd get tired. My little girl would say, well, why, Daddy? Why, Daddy? And I'd have to tell her and explain to her. And right now it's raining, so I'm going to keep this short.
Keep it going, man.
But we've got a whole bunch of people in this country that don't ask more than just shake their heads and say yes. And that's just bullshit. Because they are hurting themselves more than they think we are hurting them. They are hurting their economic self-interest like you can't believe. I put an amendment on the Senate floor during the budget. And that amendment was for $50 million for a farm program that was cut the night before by the Trump administration that took farmers and allowed them to feed kids in our public schools. And it just simply wasn't right. And the lieutenant governor says, well, wait a minute. Well, we don't do amendments on the Senate floor. I said, well, there's a rule book, isn't there? And I'll tell you, when it was all said and done, I didn't get $50 million. I got $100 million for farmers. But I'm going to ask you this, and this is a message to our farmers, and this is a message to rural Texans. We are not your enemy. We have been there for you time and time again. If you go back to FDR and you go back to LBJ, anything that was good and right in rural Texas happened because Democrats did that. So you want to talk about woke? Wake the fuck up, because we are the ones that have been behind you 100%. Not a bunch of goddamn Republicans that have cut your subsidies, that have cut anything that's good in rural Texas. There is no health care to speak of in rural Texas. And I saw that in Uvalde. And there's no mental health care to speak of. Y'all know a woman named Rebecca DeFelice, right?
Yes.
Rebecca ran for state rep, a wonderful Democrat. She lost. She said, I need this bill filed. I know you won't pass it, but I want you to talk about it. I lost my father when he lost the family farm. He killed himself. He took his life because he couldn't provide for his family. He felt so bad. He lost everything. So I filed something called the Farmer Suicide Prevention Act. We ended up passing that bill. But the reason, and I passed it on an amendment because they didn't want to hear that bill. But I'm not here to talk to you about my accolades. I'm telling you that just like I told those people yesterday that this is about unity, this is about us talking to Republicans. I know you're going to vote. This is about working class Republicans that need to get off the goddamn couch, stop listening to Fox News, and start talking to us. And they need to start listening for a second. Man, we got your back. It's time that you stood up and had ours. It's time you stop complaining and being part of a solution to fix America. Because guess what? Make America great again. Well, that's all bullshit. We never stopped being great. That's right. And this man and I, we ran for office to fix shit, not to break shit. That's right. We ran for office to make things better if they weren't working so well. Not to just crush them all to nothing. And that's what this administration has done for the last 6 months with his bullshit executive orders. And that's what he did with this bullshit bill. 17 million people will be kicked off Medicaid. And these assholes think that they're doing something to fuck people of color. Well, let me tell you. The Medicaid rolls, the dominant demographic is 40% white. It's J.D. Vance's mother. It's J.D. Vance's grandma, her meemaw. It's all of us that are going to get hurt, black, white, brown, in our communities, because these people don't care. They care more. They care more about fucking Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. And by the way, hold on. Fuck Elon, that's right. Just because he says he quit, I'm going to beg you, in the spirit of Cesar Chavez, don't eat the goddamn grapes. Remember, in the 60s and in the 70s, we stopped eating grapes. Don't buy those goddamn Teslas, because this sorry son of a bitch screwed us over. If my wife is watching this, she's going to be pissed because she doesn't like this rated R version of me. But I'm sorry. I'm tired of being nice.
That's right.
And I'm tired of the bullshit. And I'm tired of what we've gone through in this country and in this nation, because by God, we are good people. And guess what? The vast majority of those Republican working class folks are good people too. And they all want the same thing we want. We might disagree on a few things, but But they all want that little girl and that little boy over there. They want them to have the opportunity that we had. They want them to have a chance, just like we do. And so that's why I say we're all in this together. And that's why I say that we have to do more than what we're doing. We have to do more than 400 people on a lawn. We have to go out there and talk to people that just sometimes don't want to be talked to and tell them, this is how you got screwed over today, and this is how you're going to get screwed over tomorrow. And do me a favor, Republican brother, breathe a little bit. Read the goddamn newspaper. Read, because you got screwed, and take responsibility.
That's right.
Yes, sir. We've got work to do. And I promise you this, we're going to win this next election in 2026 because of that unity. I promise you this, the cracks are showing. And those people I just talked to, those people we've got to convince, they're starting to say, well, wait a minute, there's something wrong here. This math doesn't add up a little bit. And they're starting to say it, and we must show them the truth, because this sorry son of a bitch and his rich friends, all they want to do is screw the rest of us. And that is not America. We deserve to live in an America that takes care of each other. Just like FDR and LBJ helped out people in rural America. We need to be about helping kids in urban San Antonio, in the deep west side, in the east side, in the south side. We're not a country that cuts lunch programs. They do that shit in Russia. They do that shit in China. And that's where this evil bastard is taking us. We're not a country that tells kids that they shouldn't be able to eat this summer. And that's what this goddamn governor of ours did here recently. The lesson is that our country is not as great as it can be. The lesson that our country can be better. The lesson that we can fix so many things that are wrong. And when we have people in government, in office, Republicans or Democrats, doesn't matter. When they come in and say we're cutting, we're killing, we're slashing, we need to stand up and say that's bullshit. And we need to stand up and say never, 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 never again. Because we are a country of fine, working class, middle class people that will not back down, and we will not back down against that Donald Trump or anyone, and we will win next November. By the grace of God, we will win because we work together, and we will make this happen. Thank you so much, and God bless you.